Infrasors is a South African mineral sands miner supplying the industrial, metallurgical and construction sectors. It listed on the JSE in February 2010 and has a market cap of 120 million rand and a price to earnings ratio of 7. Infrasors managed to increase its turnover by 15% to some 279 million rand for last year, despite the depressed market for mineral sands. So Craig, let's get your thoughts on this one before we go any further.
Yeah, so look, it's very localized because it's you can imagine dolomite and silica sand. You can't transport very far. So they've got operations in Centurion, also on the east side of Pretoria on the what do you call it, Bronco Strait Road, and then in a little place called Cullinan and a little place near there. Both of these are basically quarries. They refer to them as mines, but if you think in terms of quarries, we understand what they do. And it's quite interesting because a lot of these life of mines are quite substantial, about ranging between 20 and 40 odd years, and there's land value. So what makes this very interesting to me is there's a value in those quarries and that they can produce income, and in fact the NAV of the company is around R2.10 a share and it's trading under 70 cents. So
at a significant discount to net asset value.
The NAV is certainly something to look at. Incredible value. And what's interesting is they've got a property which they've just had valued and are planning on selling in this current financial year, which is worth close to 100 million. And you're looking at a market cap of 120 million. So from an asset play, this produces exceptional value irrespective of what might happen in the construction industry going forward. And that's what sort of turned my attention to this company about a year ago on its asset valuations.
It looks as though you should start turning your attention to small caps out there like Infrasors.
No, you know, in my opinion, these companies generally trade at a premium to where they ought to trade because people get excited as the cycle turns. But we're talking about very old assets here. I mean, the Littleton Dolomite mine's been owned by lots of people over the years. It's at the Botha Road off-ramp if you're on the N1 going around the east of Pretoria. The mine at Delft, which is near Cullinan, you know, is a silica mine, and that goes into the glass industry. And then Marble Hall. You know, the town of Marble Hall was named after the marble mine outside. They own this thing, and they basically produce, you know, what comes out of there. I just can't get excited about these companies. I'm sorry, they're too small. They don't trade enough, so you can only get like, you know, 20 or 30,000 rands of share of value going through the market. They did very well back in 07, 08. I mean, I think this thing traded as high as R4.50, then it got absolutely crushed, traded as low as 30 cents. Now it's crawling back out of the cheese, it's at 70 cents. You know, where's it going to go next? It depends on the recovery of the cycle in which they operate, but I'm not as optimistic as Craig is.
Craig, you've got to get Paul excited about the story. Give him your best shot. I want to hear him say that this stock is hot.
It's not a share that portfolio managers are going to get excited about. But for the individual investor there's a lot of value. And what makes it exciting is you could very easily see a 400% increase in HEPS. Now that can happen. You know, in terms of the capacity, they're putting out 1.2 million tons just in the old quarry that he was talking about, Lilford. It has a capacity now to do 1.8 million. Plus, they've got all the other quarries. So there is that capacity there. And if the industry, the construction industry, takes off and they're able to ramp up to that, you can easily see a tripling, if not a quadrupling in HEPS.
So take your portfolio manager hat off and as an individual get excited about the story.
Well, you know, life is full of opportunities. So there are sectors and there are stocks which, you know, have well-established track records where the economy is like going in that direction, like, you know, mobile telephony, to use the most boring example. That's exciting to me because people are going to spend more and more every month on their data connection. But to say that the miner that is, you know, ferreting away a few stones in the ground near Cullinan is going to transform the world is obviously ludicrous. The best you can say about them is that they will have good years and they'll have bad years. And as a shareholder, you might get lucky and buy them just ahead of one of their good years. But I mean, the CEO of the company, Trevor Robertson, doesn't even get as excited as Craig when he comes on to talk about them. So I don't know how I'm going to get excited.
All right, I'm giving up on that one. Craig, let's go to you in Cape Town. Infrasors, hot or not, sir?
Yeah, it's hot and mostly as an asset play, and as I say, the potential earnings going forward. But it's a small cap, and everyone needs to keep that in mind. You're not gonna put a large part of your portfolio in a share like this.
Paul, hot or not?
No, not.